I'm leaving.
Our work here is finished. By the way, we're looking for a longer title for next year's session, so we're taking suggestions at the door on the way out. It's a mouthful, isn't it? I'm going to talk about setting expectations for social media. And before I get started, there's this big giant white elephant always in the back of the room of social media, and it's called fear. We inherently have a fear of social media, so I'm kind of curious, what are your fears with social media? We've got microphones, or just yell it out. What do you fear about engaging social media today?
Negative advertisement about your company.
Negative advertisement about your company. By the way, yes, exactly. It's damaging the brand, perhaps. Anything else? What else do we fear?
The time for the upkeep.
The time it takes to do it, absolutely. There is a time involved. Anything else? Viability, so long term? Oh, liability, yes, thank you very much. Good. One more? Yeah.
What's going to be the next one? MySpace is dead already, so...
It's actually my face now. It's myface.com. It's blended with Facebook. So yeah, do we invest in this and then it's gone? One thing I didn't hear mentioned, and we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons companies are scared of social media. Well, one of them's got a name. Yeah, how many shivers just went down the spine of people in this room looking at that logo up there? Apartmentratings.com. Let me be clear, it's not a social media site. 83% of the content 2 years ago when we started this, we realized 83% of the content was negative. 17% that was neutral or positive was usually a property manager just trying to get their fair shake on the site, right? Posing, in my day we called them posers. In the social media world they call them sock puppets. The good news is the needle is moving. 2 years later, they're now 80% negative and 20% neutral or positive. So we're going the right direction. So by 2043, we should have a balanced apartment ratings. So why are we afraid of social media? Well, number one, employees will waste time. It takes time, right? Well, you know what? According to eMarketer, there are 30 million smartphones in the United States. You can't keep them from accessing the internet. They're going to do it on their phones, whether they do it at the office or not. You can't stop people from accessing it. They can go to their lunch and the bathroom breaks. But you know what? There is a value to workers in having that. And yes, you may lose a little productivity, but you're tapping into a vast network of people. So you don't want to keep them from necessarily being able to access it at work. You can block it. I just don't think that's smart necessarily to do that. Another reason, haters will damage our brand. Someone kind of mentioned that a few seconds ago. You know what? There might be some things you just want to learn about your company that they're willing to tell you. It's a natural feedback loop. Take the information. And maybe you need to change some things about your company. Embrace it. Sorry, I'm trying to looking through your head at the sorry about that. It's a very nice head, I just can't see the so if you take the time to build an online community, what you'll find is often these people will rise to your defense. If you've done it right and you're reaching out to these people, a lot of these people will defend you online. I mean, you can't get any better than that when you have your own people defending you. Sorry, thanks. We'll lose control of the brand. You know what? You never had control of the brand. You don't own the brand. Message control is an illusion. Forget that you're ever going to control it. The consumer does. You can email or try to work with tweeting and Facebook, but you know what? Everyone has got, with a computer or a laptop, can engage in the social media world, and they effectively are controlling your brand. So you might as well join the conversation. Don't run away from it, engage it. Social media requires a real budget. It's not really cheap or free. And you know what? That's right. I just said that a second ago. There's a cost. It takes someone time to do this. There's work involved. And you need someone who's experienced. And might I add a suggestion? I've spoken at UGA, I've spoken at Virginia Tech, and they have a multifamily industry program. And it dawned on me when I was sitting here talking to these people, they are your social media experts. This is your next social media manager who could report to your director of marketing. They speak the language, they understand the medium, and you can hire them as an intern or hire them as a manager, but these people speak the language. Nothing's worse than someone going out and pretending like they are all hip, and it just doesn't work, right? These guys get it. So they're a crew of people that you can tap into. And finally, they're scared they'll be sued. All regular business practices remain the same. Fair housing laws still apply. That doesn't change the message. It just changes where you're hearing it. So keep in mind that feedback and all this stuff is feedback. It's, TripAdvisor, Amazon, this is not bad stuff. In fact, it's not always someone just screaming and yelling at you and wanting to say something really bad about you. If you look, mostly it's good. Take a look at Yelp, for example. Yelp has a 1 through 5 rating system, 1, 2, and 3 being neutral or negative, 4 and 5 being good. 67% is actually positive. People want to say good things, they just need a reason to do it, and they want to encourage you. One of the best stories I ever heard was a pizza place in San Francisco, and when you walk in, they've got a t-shirt, and I see you nodding because I know you know the story. They have a t-shirt that says, the sauce was made by a kindergartner. The cheese tastes like cardboard. I mean, all these terrible negative things, and people say, well, why are you wearing these on these t-shirts? Well, we saw it on Yelp, and we take our business very seriously, and we'd like for you to engage too. If you have something nice or bad to say, we take it seriously. Brilliant. And as a result, they get great feedback about their pizza place. So the last couple of things I'll say is how can you engage today? What are a couple little things that you can engage today in social media? First thing, and a lot of people don't know this, go to Google, type in Google, go to Google Alerts. Every day it'll go through the blogosphere and it'll grab stuff that people are saying about you, your company, your business. Find out what they're saying and create an action plan. You need to figure out what you're going to do with this. And when you start getting an action plan, reach out to those people, the happy ones, but also the not so happy ones, and start engaging very slowly. Analyze every medium. Every tool is not the same. Twitter is different than Flickr, is different than blogging. The rules change, and you need to know what medium you're using. One size does not fit all in social media. And finally, how do you add value to the network that you're using? Conduct mock trial is kind of a weird term, but basically, figure out what are you going to say each day, how do you add friends, how are you going to reply, how do you add value, and how do you respond to criticism. It's very important. And by the way, little tip, don't be defensive. Be funny. Defensive does not work in social media, but be funny and be transparent. These are all points you need to talk around a table, not after you've engaged. Start slow. There's nothing worse than social media burnout. You ever go to a website and it's had like a release posted back in 1999? That's even worse than just not having anything at all. If you're going to start, don't stop. It looks terrible if 7 months later you haven't updated your information. Pick the most strategic medium. You can, and Mike can talk a lot about this, and so can Jamie. Maybe you want to go to Twitter and just set up an account, send out a tweet once a week. It's not that hard, and then maybe you go into Facebook. But those are probably the two practical ones to start with right away. And as you get more comfortable, you can ramp up. Protect your name. Go to these sites. They have vanity URLs and vanity sites. If you don't get them, someone else will. And you don't want someone else with your property name on these. And you can actually go to claim them. You can go to Noam. It's a great place to scan everything and do one quick upload or claim. Be transparent. This is the hardest thing for us in this industry. It's very hard to be transparent. But you know what? People will buy into it, and you'll get some loyalty as a result of being transparent and honest. And don't stop, again, don't start if you don't plan on continuing. And finally, embrace it. You have a built-in feedback loop. When back in the days when I was at companies 15 years ago, we used to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for feedback loops, and so that we could get the information package to give back to the executives to make decisions. You've got it right here. It's relatively free, and it's a terrific way to make decisions corporately based on the information you're getting. Invest in a social media manager, another suggestion, and maybe you can integrate some of your content in your own website. Make sure that you're Web 2.0 compliant, so to speak, on your own websites. So, in close, you have the question, should I join the conversation? The answer is either yes, or you can.